Hi, and welcome to this week's episode hosted by Gray and Mark Law of St John's Health and Fitness and Mark Elm of Leeds Beckett University, where we take training theory and science onto the gym floor.
Hey up everybody, welcome back to the Yorkshire Fitness Podcast. We are now on episode 19 of our new little venture going. So we're flying through them, aren't we, boys? I'm Graham, welcome back. I'm joined again by his good mate Mark Elm, who's over at Leeds. He's in his office, aren't you, mate? You're at work.
Hi.
And Mark, who's at home as well. So all three of us back again today. So we're going to have a real good chat about a really popular topic, questions asked about this all the time. It's a supplement and it's protein. So probably one that as kids will be really happy about because they talk about it all the time, Mark, don't they?
They do, yeah. We get a lot of stick about protein, don't we?
They seem to think that we are really obsessed by protein, probably because they do hear us talk about it quite a bit. But yeah, it is a really big one. It's probably the most common one in it that we probably as advise people, probably as far as any supplement. I know it's kind of supplement, food source, a macro, whatever you class it as. It's a massive part of our daily kind of calorie intake in it, protein, and probably not a lot of people get enough of it. That's one thing that we do see in our gym when we're doing food, is what food diaries, etc. So we thought that'd be a really good topic to just go a little bit deeper into and chat about. Just it should just help people, shouldn't it?
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. But we're also going to have a little bit of chat because we've got a big challenge coming up tomorrow, haven't we? So
You have. So tell us again what it is you're trying to do, because you just told me some statistics that made my hair stand on end.
And that takes some doing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So, well, as a team, and when I say as a team, so me, Gray, Will, but then the St John's members and a few mates as well. We're trying to cover the distance. No, we're not trying. We're gonna cover the distance.
We are. I'm going to say, we are.
Yeah, we're not trying. We're doing. We're covering the distance of John O'Groats to Land's End using ski erg, rowing machine, watt bike, and as curved treadmill. So that means we need to keep all four machines going for full 24 hours. So we're helping members. Me and Gray and Will are doing it we're doing 30 minutes on one, 30 minutes on another, and then 30 minutes rest continuous for 24 hours. Members are coming in and paying 10 quid to do a 30-minute slot, which is all raising money for Wakefield Hospice. But as scary statistic is what Gray's been thinking about today, just working it out. If we hit our targets that we're aiming to achieve on each 30-minute slot on each one, we will do more than a marathon distance on rower and skier, almost a marathon on treadmill.
Just short of a marathon on treadmill.
Yeah, because we're planning on walking treadmill as a bit of a almost recovery. Not recovery, but just to keep it moving. So, so just short of a marathon on treadmill and equivalent. Is it what? Three marathons on bike.
3 marathons on bike.
3 marathons on bike.
Yeah, 120k.
So when you do break it down like that in 24 hours, that's quite a bit of distance, isn't it?
6 marathons
individually.
My first response was, "That's a lot of Vaseline you're going to need."
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that because I haven't thought of Vaseline. We've got a padded seat for rower. We've sorted that.
Yeah.
Because the arse is going to go numb, surely.
Yeah.
Some anti-chafing cream, which I think after we did triathlon, Chris Davis gave me a tub, and I've still got in wardrobe because we didn't do any more, did we? So I got a tub of that you're supposed to put down for your wetsuits around your neck and under your arms and that. So I'll bring that in, and we'll have to see how we go. Hopefully we can stop it before it gets too bad, can't we?
Yeah, you just put it on to start with, don't you? You put it on.
So that starts tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock tomorrow night, aiming to finish 6 o'clock Saturday tea time, and that's what we're on for. So yeah,
hopefully a little bit sooner if we can up us distances. If we can get a little bit more distance per slot, per block, let's say, we might get it just under. But 24 is the goal, isn't it? We've set that. If we can do it in 24 and under, my God, that'll be amazing. If it takes a little bit longer, it takes a bit longer, but we've just got to complete it. Yeah, we're relying on members. We've sold we've sold 95 slots, 95 30-minute slots. So members are coming in, and in them 30-minute windows that we get a rest, other members are coming in together, and they're going to be jumping on rowers and skier to try and help, obviously, to sustain the distance, so that we can't afford to have any 30-minute windows where the machine isn't working, because we're just losing distance then, aren't we, every time. So we've managed to sell them all, which is amazing support from all us members coming in at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning to be there with us and actually training as well. They're all saying they're going to bring us some food and flapjacks in and stuff like that, just to keep us going. And I think just the buzz, the excitement of them coming in, and the kind of a bit extra banter. It's obviously going to be changing every 30 minutes, isn't it? Somebody new coming in every 30 minutes. So it will just, hopefully the dynamics of it will help us and stop us from feeling as tired and as knackered and everything else that will come along with doing that type of distance.
Yeah.
But it's good. Looking forward to it, aren't we, though? We're proper excited.
Weirdly, I can't wait. Yeah. I just want to get started. I wish it were tonight. Then we can get cracking.
So it'll be over quicker.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been wanting to try and get extra sleep this week, thinking, right, try and get a bit extra sleep. So I'm going to bed and thinking, right, get to sleep. That don't work, does it?
No.
We've done a podcast on sleep, mate, and that just don't work. That's not a strategy, I'll tell you. If anybody wants a strategy on how to get more sleep, don't go to bed thinking, I need more sleep tonight. Get to sleep, I need more sleep. You've just got to fall asleep.
A great strategy for more sleep, I think, is like 6 marathons in 24 hours. I think that's a pretty good strategy.
Well, I'm pretty sure Saturday night will be a good night's sleep.
Yeah, you'll catch up, Mark. You'll catch up Saturday night.
Yeah, I know.
So, that's it. That's all good. You're going to come in and see us then, El, Mark, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get across probably Friday night. I'm training courses all weekend, so I'm going to try and be there at the start.
Cool.
I get that we don't need any support. We're all fresh and enthusiastic. I'll be there for that. At the dark times where you need all the help you can get, I'll be somewhere else, unfortunately. But I said to somebody this morning, I said, you might see a totally different side to us both, depending on what hour you turn up on. Yeah, they might see a different side to us. All of a sudden they might go, God, aren't them Law brothers moody? You know, I thought they were happy. All right, lads. You know what I mean? But God, they're moody, grumpy. Nobody booked in for Sunday morning, have you? I hope.
No. Yeah, we've got kids. Yeah,
we've got kids rugby.
We're away at Siddle. So I'm up Sunday morning driving over to Siddle.
It's to be out the window.
We're away at York Acorn.
It's to be out the window.
Oh God, yeah.
Or at least perform, Mark. At least perform.
They may see a different side to us.
Yeah.
Right, well, cool. I think that's it then. So that's it. Weekend plans discussed. Little chat.
What about your training, Mark? Have you done much? Because obviously our training's we've tapered right off this week, so we've eased off and just trying to eat. So what about yours?
Yeah, it's getting there. Long weekend off with Jubilee weekend with family and kids and stuff. So yeah, back to it this week. So if anybody hasn't seen my vlog, I have a vlog where I talk about it quite regularly. Season 2. It's just doing a lot more trying to stick to the volume. I was avoiding like 3 sets of 10ers because I didn't want to kind of gain any hypertrophy. Trying to get double body weight squat, you don't want to put on weight, you want to be losing weight, so you have to squat as less. I thought actually at 43, you probably don't have that much testosterone left to put on a lot of weight, so let's just stay with hypertrophy kind of ranges and might beat me up a bit less. So playing around with that and playing around with velocity-based training. For those who are not sure about it, you measure how fast the bar's moving. So just trying to keep every rep within a narrow range, so the hard sets aren't any slower than the fast ones. So if I did like 50 kilos, it's the same kind of speed as the heavy set. So not trying to get too heavy, too fast and break myself like I did last time. So just playing around with stuff like that. So yeah, okay so far. So
yeah, I'll tell you what though, that just shows though as well. You know, like, you know, when people come and, you know, like people get little injuries and niggles and stuff or whatever it might be, you know, like through training and they worry about it. We're all learning about what we can do and where we are in his range at different stages of his lives, aren't we? You know, like you're never going to go through training, no matter what you know, completely without a niggle, are you? It's just then, like we said on the training around injuries, it's then just what you do around that to recover and to come back better from it, don't you?
It was a combination of the training for over 50s, although I'm not over 50. I would like to say that, not like some of us who are pushing that kind of envelope. But and into my 40s, and some of us who are at the end of our mid 40s are getting a bit close. In my 40s, do I need to train like I'm 25? And I kind of like had that. The rule is that if you want to get stronger, you lift really heavy weights just a few times. So I kind of playing around with the idea of is that really still true for everybody all the time? And when I first started back training after the first lockdown finished, I got gains in strength quite quickly with 3 sets of 10, but not doing the same weight every single set. So you go back 50%, 75%, and then you only really had one work set of 100% of your 10 RM. And I kind of put that down to the fact it was because I'd been detrained for so long that anything would make me better. So I'm going back to that kind of way of training again now, seeing, well, does it still work and do I still get better after I've been training for 12 months? And if it does, and training with a bit more volume, a bit less load, do I still get stronger but get less beat up and get less injuries? There's enough reward and a lot less risk. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm playing around with now, and then using the speed of the bar to make sure that I don't get silly and try to move faster than my technique will allow.
That's good.
That's pretty much what we were kind of spoke about on his last one, like injury. As we're getting older, you've just got to be that little bit smarter, haven't you? And what do you want from it? Do you want to be able to say, I don't know, I can lift this, I can lift that, or do you want to be able to train consistently, pain-free, and actually enjoy what you're doing?
Yeah, and the thing is, if you go to any of the textbooks or training courses, you don't get given that information. It's like, here's this kind of like the good old-fashioned table and chart, which I probably gave to you guys when the SSE module back in college. Sliding scale, strength is under 5 reps, it's above 85%. That's the kind of rule, the golden rule of S&C. And now I'm kind of questioning, going, well, yeah, for most people, most of the time, that is the rule, and it's not wrong, but it might not be right for me right now. And that's kind of, as you get a bit more experience, a bit more expertise in coaching, you start to question some of the rules and think about, do I have a slightly different set of rules than 90% of the population, because I'm not the 25-year-old guy in the gym who's probably quite robust and hasn't broken down 10, 15,000 times already.
Yeah, well,
that's like us for who we train, isn't it?
It just shows how individual. It just proves how individual we all are, don't we? Even we were chatting about nutrition a little bit yesterday, Mark, weren't we? Everybody's individual on how the foods. It's not just it's not just a simple solution, is it? Anything, whether it's a calorie deficit, there's always more factors to put into whatever it is, whether it's a training program, nutrition, whatever it is in life. You've just got to address everything kind of individual, haven't you?
Yeah. Which nutrition leads into protein.
Good.
So where do we start, Mark? Where do we start? Tell us what protein is.
Perfect start.
Tell us what protein is and the supplements maybe that are available or where we get it from, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, protein, there are 3 macronutrients: carbs, fats, proteins. I think everybody's heard of them. Protein is basically a building block of other things called amino acids. And we'll get into kind of, because some people might have heard of amino acids, get into like branch chain amino acids, you may see it on the supplement shelves. But basically these are the building blocks of anything that's a solid structure in your body. It is made up of proteins. So collagen makes up your ligaments and tendons. You got your muscle protein, bone have got things in there as well. So everything that's kind of solid has got a protein base to that, which is why protein is something we'll talk about extensively, because what builds us up. We use the energy in carbs and fats to move, and we use protein to build up the things that it ends up moving. So without having the right amount of protein, we're going to lose those solid structures. Most of the time, we're going to be thinking about muscle protein, because that's the thing that we're really more in control of than anything else. I can't really control hair growth, as you can tell. So not really something I'm going to be kind of worried about, but I can control my muscle mass. And that's through diet and through training. So that's the most thing I'm going to talk about today is kind of, if I talk about muscle protein synthesis, it's the process the body goes through about adding or taking away protein in the muscle. And that's kind of it, really.
Yeah.
And why is muscle protein really important? Well, there's two kind of main reasons. Well, that's probably the several main reasons. I'll kind of reel them off, and then I'll count back afterwards. Muscle is the stuff that makes us move. So if we don't have muscle, we can't move. Now, we all have some, but if we don't have enough muscle, we're not going to be as functional as we like to be. That could be what we can do in the gym. It could be our daily life, our tasks, our job. Or it could be doing stupid challenges like 6 marathons in 24 hours on different bits of kit, silly things like that. Next thing is it basically is what burns calories. So if I want to have a body composition goal, whether that's to look good or not look good, or whether it's to lose weight, gain weight, because some people are underweight, not everybody's overweight. Protein is what's going to be the kind of thing that's going to determine my healthy body composition. Okay, I want as much muscle mass as I need, and as little body fat as I need. I need some body fat. I can't be 0%. I don't need huge amounts of muscle mass. I'm not going to be a bodybuilder. But it's about balancing the ratio of muscle mass to fat mass. So that muscle mass burns calories at rest. It burns calories when I'm working out. So if I have enough muscle mass and that's dense enough, that'll burn all the calories. It'll help me maintain a nice body composition even when I'm doing nothing. And that's something we've already spoken about. So if I want to lose weight, the thing I want to maintain is my protein intake, because that's going to help maintain my muscle mass, and that's going to burn fat when I'm doing nothing. So it's all basically bringing us back into the idea that protein is central to maintaining a healthy body.
Yeah. Will you go into a little bit as well, mate, before we kick on? A lot of people who I train, they kind of struggle getting their head around the fact that our body is constantly using protein. I know it's got, like your muscle protein synthesis. Our body is constantly breaking down, isn't it? That is what it's doing, and so that's where we need as carbs for energy if we're going to be doing a bout of exercise. Like you've just spoke about, carbs and fats. It's for energy. It's to create movement, but protein is just happening while we're asleep. So our body is breaking down. So that's kind of the importance of it over the time period. It's a constant thing. It's not about carb loading. It's like kind of we're trying to do now. We are trying to make sure we're topped up, ready for tomorrow night. It's not like it's different in protein, how it works. I thought that'd be quite a good one for you to just explain a little bit. Yeah.
So any hard tissue or hard substance, like we're all wearing clothes. You wear your clothes often enough, it's going to get frayed. It's going to wear out. And the same way, if you use your muscle all the time, and you do, whether you're working out or just moving around, that muscle is always moving in some way, shape, or form, and that movement will break down. Unlike artificial things like clothes, the body repairs. So we have this constant build up, breakdown, build up, breakdown. So either in a net balance, in a net surplus or net deficit. So if I'm in a net surplus, I'm going to be building up more protein than I'm breaking down, and I'll gain muscle mass. If I'm in a net deficit, what will happen is I'm breaking down more muscle mass than I'm rebuilding, and therefore I'll lose muscle mass. What we talked about in the kind of the aging kind of podcast was that as we get older, there's a natural lag. We don't build up as much as we lose. We can fix that to some degree by training and by diet, but there's a natural ebb away. And that is programmed in by all of our hormones and our activities. So testosterone and growth hormone and things like that, these things occur naturally. They turn on the building process. And then things like stress hormones like cortisol, which we spoke about in our sleep episode, they're breaking down hormones. They tell the body to break down. And the breakdown is essential because they're damaged. So if we went for a run, we'd have all the muscle that we use that run will have some kind of damage. We don't want to keep that damaged muscle because it's not going to be productive. So cortisol comes on, says, right, let's break down all this damaged protein that's in the muscle, flush it all out, and then we'll kick on our testosterone and growth hormone. That sends a signal to repair the muscle and build new. And every time we train, the body goes, right, I'm going to get better than I was before, because if that happened again, I want to be better than that. Now imagine that you're not running for personal enjoyment. Imagine you're running from something that's a predator, something that's trying to kill you. Which if you're in the jungle, back in the savannas, or as cavemen as we were when our bodies first evolved into the humans we are now, that is why you would run. There are no kind of animals in the animal kingdom that run for personal fulfillment. They run from shit trying to kill them.
Yeah. On that note,
or to kill something else.
Yeah. Can I just go on that note about humans, kind of how we evolved? I'm reading that, but have you read the book called Sapiens, Alan?
Not yet, no.
No, read it. It's very good. I'm on it. I'm not even a third of the way through, but wow, when you know, like when you talk about evolution and how we've changed and where we were, my God, it's very good, really good.
Yeah. So if you imagine if you are that kind of hunt or be hunted mode, which is where we all came from, if you were to only just evade something or you only just missed out on a meal, your body goes, well, that was too close for comfort. I want to be able to run away faster, so therefore I'm under less danger. I want to be able to run faster to catch more prey, and therefore I'm more likely to survive. So it then kicks in this repair process. So it wants to add more protein than it was there before, so we can run faster, run further, all that kind of stuff. So that's why we have this constant build-up, breakdown of protein. If the breakdown of protein is more than the build-up, we're going to lose more muscle mass, as mentioned there. We don't really want that at any point in our life. Even if we're not into bodybuilding and getting bigger muscles and all that kind of stuff, we don't want to lose muscle that we've already got. So we need to maintain at least neutral balance.
That's a very good description, mate. I like it.
Yeah, very good.
Well done.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, about because everybody, and I think when we talk about protein and you talk about if we go into supplements and taking it, which we're going to do, we're going to touch on, I think everybody's got this thing that protein is what bodybuilders take. They see bloke coming out at gym route, backdoor gym, or from weight room in whichever gym they go to, with a little vest on and the protein shake, and they think it's all about being, I don't know, what's the way out being?
Go on, how are you going to word it, Matt?
I don't know.
You dug yourself in, get out of it.
The bodybuilder look. All right. Yeah. So, like they all think it's about bodybuilding, don't they? And they think, oh, well, you need protein if you're bodybuilding. They take protein because they're bodybuilding. And it ain't about that, is it? It's such an important macronutrient, such an important element of his diet for everything, in it, for like nutritionally, for like you've just said, like the building block and just maintaining what we've got. It's isn't about, and especially when we get to a certain age, and for women and stuff as well, it isn't just about, they're not going to get big shoulders up here, massive traps, walking underground and stuff. It's maintaining what we've got and keeping healthy, and like we've said, keeping functionally strong and active as long as we possibly can.
Yeah. I mean, the first protocol I always have when I talk to anybody about kind of what they should have in their diet and how to change their diet, going, start off with two things. The first one being a protein goal. And I typically, and I'm not a nutritionist, I just have given general guidance and advice, would be around somewhere between 1.5 and 2 grams per kilo of body weight. So you're always scaling it to who you are rather than some ridiculous target that's for kind of a 150 kilo strongman. So for some people, it isn't that much protein, and for other people, it is quite a large amount of protein depending on where they want to go. And the second thing I always do is basically a calorie goal, which is round about your basal metabolic rate. Now that's to maintain. If you want to gain weight, lose weight, that has to shift up and down depending on which goal it is. But generally speaking, if you want to be healthier, better body composition, but you not necessarily want to change huge life changes, hit your protein goal, hit your calorie goal, you won't be far away. Now, what that will mean is you probably have to shift the kind of food you eat, taking in, because you might be very carb based, and lots of people are carb based because it's so easy to find carbs. It's just everywhere. And it's actually a bit cheaper than eating protein. So that's where I would go, like kind of get your calorie goal and get your protein goal. Now, the reason why we're going to supplements for protein, and that's why I want to talk about today, is I mentioned way back when we first talked about supplements, does it solve
way back when?
Way back when. Was it? I can't even remember what number it was. It was that long ago.
You just said way. That's all. I just,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nobody else got that. It was like way over our heads. There we go.
Sorry.
Casein point.
Like it.
No, we'll stop that. Put an end to that one. Anyway, right. Well, so it solves a problem. So the problem I have when I look at those two things is like, how do I get the right amount of protein without exceeding my calorie goal for the day? Now, you mentioned kind of you take a kind of a typical female client wanting to lose weight. Now, I'm a nearly 100 kilo bloke, so I can probably get away with quite a lot of calories and not really struggle that hard to get my protein goal in. But if I was down at 70 kilos and wanting to lose weight, which is an unheard of kind of set of numbers for your kind of female clients, trying to get the protein goal and the calorie deficit at the same time is really quite challenging. And then you're adding all the different kind of food preferences, cooking time, lifestyle. It throws up a set of problems that maybe food can't solve on its own. Like, there's only so many chicken breasts a person can eat in a week. I've not hit that limit yet, I might add.
But some people do struggle just eating loads of chicken, don't they?
Yeah, and
chicken
like,
after chicken, like so.
Tuna, fish, beef, you name it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be meat centric. I do love a barbecue, but you can get through vegetarian and vegan sauces, but you have to eat a huge volume of stuff. And again, that throws up another problem by trying to kind of achieve a protein goal and a calorie deficit and a vegetarian and vegan diet, because the volume of food you'd have to eat is substantial. So how do you kind of put those two things together and still get the right solution? Well, sometimes using things like a whey protein supplement gives you the right amount of protein that you need and the right amount of calories that come with it, because all food, it comes in a nice kind of calorie package. So if I eat a steak, it gives me my 30 grams of protein serving that I'm looking for, it might come with 350, 400 calories. Like, well, that becomes a bit of a problem, because then I don't have enough calories in other food types to hit both my protein goal and stay under my calorie deficit. So
whereas,
a protein shake, you can hit your 25, 30 grams of protein for about 150 calories.
Yeah. Depending if you put it in milk or water or nut milk, things like that, you can build it up and bring it down depending on.
Yeah, because I think minimum. I think ours is about 130, 140 calories. One that we use up at gym. The angry dog. That's about that. When it's with water.
It's less great. It's only 110, I think.
I'm sorry. I've got 10 calories out.
No, but that's quite a lot. You're on a deficit.
Oh yeah. You just interrupting today.
It's no big deal. I'm just saying it. Well, less that we're all. No big deal. I'm just saying it's even less. As in, it's even less than that. Right. That's all I was saying.
All right, cool.
You know, I wasn't trying to.
You're making a big deal of it. It's not.
It's not about
it. Let's move on. So they can be very useful. Also, like I said, you always advise people try to get your, let's just say, your macros from food sources first. It's always food first, isn't it? But if you are struggling, if there's anything, the protein shake is a great way to help add protein to your diet with lower calories in general.
I think both of you as well. I think the convenience thing is that, like sometimes for people's breakfast, they don't go a lot now, aren't they? Like if they're rushing for work, for school, like a protein shake, it's your goal. Not a lot of calories, but you've got it in, and then you're good to go for that day, aren't you? Or it could be a snack at work. People are busy at work and they're not getting it in. They've only been able to grab whatever for the dinner time, wherever they are, or a break, and they can have a quick protein.
Much better to mix a protein shake, even if you mix it into yogurt and make a bit of a paste from it. Like you can make a protein yogurt, can't you, rather than calling it a vending machine and getting a bar of chocolate for a snack.
Yeah. So they're very convenient out there as well.
A good tool in the toolbox, as we say, Dylan.
There's two kinds of protein as well. I think that's probably worthwhile talking about, because again, people don't always understand. They see a protein tub on the shelf and it's just a protein tub on the shelf, and maybe not quite appreciate different types of protein supplements, because protein is protein to most people. And there's two kinds: whey protein, which we mentioned, and that's relatively fast absorbing. So if you take it in, you'll probably have it in the system relatively quickly. And then the other type of protein is called casein protein. Now, there's no kind of positive and negative. They're all kind of protein. They're all going to get to the same end product at the same time. But one is more slow releasing. So casein is typically recommended for nighttime use. So we release a lot of positive hormones during our deep sleep, as we talked about in our other episode. And if you took casein at night, you release all this protein slowly through the gut overnight when you're having all this protein release, all the kind of hormone releases. So if you are looking at strategies to gain muscle mass, and again, that isn't just the kind of realm of the bodybuilder. Everybody could benefit from increased muscle mass. Again, not extreme, but some people are under-muscled and overweight. It is a thing. So you can take casein proteins, but they come to things like cottage cheese and dairy. It's kind of dairy-based. And then you have whey protein, which is much more fast-acting. And that's the kind of thing you're more likely going to see on the shelves. So there's kind of two different sorts of protein you can have. And again, it depends on your solution that you want. So you can have like overnight oats with casein. You can have it at night. You can be filled. That could fill you up until kind of a fasted breakfast, like at mid-morning, because it's had so much protein in it. And we're looking for around about 30 grams of protein per serving. So if you're looking at your products on the shelf and you're looking at how much protein it gets, if it has less than 20 grams, it's probably not that high in protein. You're looking at least 24 and above, in my mind. Now, you might say if you add milk to that, it goes up to 30, which is great, but that milk will have calories in as well. So you've got to be mindful that you've not got these secret calories and you're thinking you kind of fitting in your calorie goal because you've had a protein shake, and all of a sudden you've put a kind of half a litre of full fat milk in it, and you've got a 500-600 calorie shake rather than a 110 calorie shake. Not 130, yeah. Not 140, 110.
Could make such a massive difference to your calories. You could be massively in a surplus though, couldn't you, if you got that mixed up?
you know what? Just try throwing a little bit in there, don't I?
If I'd have that surplus all week, I would be a very angry dog.
Yeah, very angry dog.
Yeah,
like, oh my God, today's been good.
I know.
We're sharp. Right, cool. What about what were we saying then? I had a question then. We're going to throw something else in. I've forgotten what it was now. Carry on.
We've talked about casein. We've talked about whey.
The other one is BCAAs, branched chain amino acids.
Oh yeah. We're going to speak about them on way.
Because that is popular now. I'm not saying it's good, but that is everywhere, isn't it? People carrying the BCAAs and while they're training.
Yeah.
And you need
so
we've got, go on. Yeah, let's talk about that. 3
minutes left, so I'll keep this brief. So protein, whey protein, casein protein, they're all these building blocks of these tiny amino acids. And we have these essential and non-essential amino acids, and we've got these branched chain amino acids. Basically, yes, you can take branched chain amino acids, but a good whey protein will have what's called a complete amino acid profile, which means you get all of them, whereas branched chain amino acids are only 4. So in most cases, I'm talking to the masses, in most people, I think it's an unnecessary specific choice. Like if I had the choice of getting whey protein versus branched chain amino acids, I'd always go and get the whey protein because it's got all of them rather than these 4 specific ones. Some people may benefit from targeting specific ones, like leucine, for example, is like a bit of a key to unlocking certain mechanisms, but you're going to get that in your whey protein anyway. So I don't think there isn't a general need for people to get BCAAs over whey protein.
Right. Cool. Advice. Yeah, generally, everybody who comes to our gym, I don't think we'd recommend BCAAs to anybody who we kind of do it. I don't take them.
No,
I don't bother.
I
genuinely don't feel like I need BCAAs on top of my normal protein intake.
I think you'd have to be a registered nutritionist to be able to give somebody specific advice where they would need BCAAs more than they would need whey. Yeah. And I'm definitely not that person, so you're not going to get that advice through me.
No. Cool. Spot on. Right.
I think the last bit of advice I'd give it is the most frequent goal I'm guessing you guys would see is like, I want to lose weight. Now, there's a huge amount of research out there where you can have a high protein diet and a calorie deficit, and you can gain muscle mass. So usually most people think they're going to have to lose weight and they're going to lose everything. They're going to get smaller. But if you have a high protein diet and you do resistance training, you can gain muscle mass and lose body fat at the same time. But it's very difficult to do that using a food-only approach. So you can have a food-first approach, absolutely, but very difficult to do a food-only approach. Yeah. So I might get kind of shouted at by kind of some Puritans who are going, no, you must only give food out. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice, wonderful world if we can get all of our micronutrients, all of our macronutrients, and a calorie deficit and our protein goal by eating only food. But the probability is that if you live a normal life and have a job and family and then want to do all those other things as well, doing it using food only is unlikely.
Yeah, I agree.
And I suppose on a final bit would be just get a good quality supplement as well. Don't buy cheap rubbish.
Yeah,
like
just don't go for your cheapest protein.
Look high protein content, not too many ingredients, and and you can't go wrong, can you?
No, give them a shout out, Mark. We use Angry Dog, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we use
Santini 7.
Santini. What is it? Santini 7.
All the products are available, but they may have more than 110 calories in them.
They might, and there's a very good chance they will have, Mark. I would have thought.
Right, we've got less than a minute to go. So we'll wrap up there.
Brilliant.
So thank you everybody for listening. Good luck tomorrow, guys, for your challenge.
Yeah, cheers, Ben.
We'll see you on the other side.
All right.
Will do.
Cheers for listening, everybody. See you later. See ya. Bye.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked the episode, we'd like you to share with us that on YouTube, Instagram and Twitter. You can listen again on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Please leave us a rating and a review, and any comments would be more than appreciated. And hopefully you'll tune back next time for our next episode.
The Yorkshire Fitness Podcast.